We're live.
Yes, we're live. What is up, everybody? Hold on. We're live. Just wait a second for people to come in.
You are in the show. Everyone can see and hear you. Bada bing.
All right. See if anybody comes in.
Well, yeah, give them a chance. But those folks that are here, of course, I'm the Sports Reaction. Of course, I'm on the man right here, Alex Sports Channel. Both Giants fans. We'll be talking NFL, New York Giants, and anything sports related, I guess, because
anything really. We'll talk Giants for a bit. Here comes everybody. AA Sports, Karam, Javi Bar. What's up, guys? What's up, guys? This is the Sports Reaction. Subscribe to him if you're not subscribed to him, because he has great content. He does a lot of live streams too.
No, I really don't.
You really? No, I mean, not anymore.
No.
Not anymore. When sports were on, you would grind them.
But no sports, and there are some sports. But I don't know about you, Alex, but I'm not calling NASCAR or Korean baseball.
I don't like either of those sports. It's just whack.
More power to the people that'll do it.
Yeah. What's up, diehard Giants fan? What's up, Dirty Rob? Lewis? So what's up, guys? If you got any questions, please ask in the chat. What's up, NY Beast? Awesome. Yes. 15 months. Let's go.
Finally, after it's been in the works for a while and schedules met up today and said, hey, you available at 3:30 on a Saturday? He's like, NBA game or TSR? And it was tough. I know it was, but we chose TSR.
Yeah. I'm just finally glad we can do this. I would love to come on your channel someday if you're all right with that. Or do a video or whatever. It's so good. So
is that a Barkley jersey you're wearing?
Yes, it is. Barkley.
Oh my gosh, we're both. That was not planned for the record. We're both
not planned. We did not plan that at all.
No. I planned on wearing a Giants shirt and a Giants hat because we're Giants fans, but did not know we were both going to be wearing Barkley gear. I need to get a new jersey. The only jersey I have, Alex, is Eli Manning. And while that was good for a number of years, he's kind of retired. So DJ or Barkley, that's where I'm kind of torn right now.
I got a Barkley shirt. It's not a jersey. It's just a Daniel Jones shirt I have. I don't have an actual jersey though. So let's start talking Giants. What do you think about the draft as a whole? Your thoughts?
All right, so we'll go back to March or April, last month. And I've gotten some flack from some Giants fans because my reaction to Andrew Thomas being drafted was not a positive one. But I'll relate to anybody that's in the chat that's not aware. Sarah, what's up? I'm not a college football fan. I am very transparent with my audience and everybody. I barely follow it. And about 3 weeks before the NFL draft, that's when I'll start looking at what the analysts and the experts say. Well, all those folks had the Giants taking Isaiah Simmons or Tristan Wirfs or who's the other tackle, Alex? The other guy.
Or Jedrick Wells or
that was kind of the three.
Yeah, those were the three. Yeah.
So as somebody that's not a college football fan, when I go into watch a draft, I'm expecting to hear one of the three names the experts say that we should take. And when I hear a name that's not expected, my reaction would be WTF. Hindsight's 2020, though. I wasn't happy about the Daniel Jones draft last year. That worked out good. And looking at what Gettleman did this year, really put a lot into the offensive line. I like the draft overall. I graded it about a B-, but I was kind of a lukewarm B on a kind of fringe. I think it was a good draft, and with free agency, I think the Giants are going to surprise a lot of people this season. Everybody's going 6 and 10.
Yeah, everybody's counting us. Yeah, I can't. I just wanted the Giants to, break out in front of everybody.
ESPN has them going 2-14, which is ridiculous.
That's absurd. We're not going 2-14.
No, they can stay healthy. I think they can have a fringe top 10 offense, and by fringe, I think right at number 10 or 11 and 12.
Yeah.
And the defense can't get any worse. So I think we can go 8-8. We're going to surprise a lot of people.
Yeah, I think we can go 8-8. I think 8 wins is our ceiling. 6 to 7 is more realistic, and I'll stick with that. What do you think the Giants? How many wins do you think the Giants can get? I think 7.
8-8. Looking at the schedule, a lot of people expect the Eagles and Cowboys to sweep us. I sincerely think we'll split. I think we'll finally find a way to hold the game in the fourth quarter.
Me too. Me too. I think we'll beat the Eagles once this year.
Once on each. The Redskins, I feel like a sweep because the Redskins are in extreme rebuild mode. And, you know, I haven't beaten the Steelers in week 1. Everybody's going Steelers win. I'm like, hold on. You got Ben Roethlisberger coming back from a serious injury. I think it's his throwing arm, Alex.
Yeah, it is.
He's pushing 40. And no disrespect to any Steelers fans, if there's any in the chat, but Juju was not the same without Antonio Brown on the other side. Yeah, he was dinged up too, but the offense, and Le'Veon Bell's not there. So that offense that was cooking is missing a lot of the key assets it had a few years ago. So I think the Steelers defensively going to be fun, but offensively I think will be a mess.
Yeah, I'm kind of concerned about their offense. Ben Roethlisberger, who knows how he's going to play? They got a good defense. That's going to be interesting. I think the Giants could beat him week 1. I think we have a chance. Right.
Alex, if you look at the Cowboy X Factor on the bottom of the, I'll just move way up the chat. There you go. Very interesting stat there.
Really? What's up? Never won. Yeah, we never went 2-14, if I recall correctly.
So I mean, Jason Garrett's never gone 2-14. The Giants, I think, have gone 2-14.
Yeah, that's.
Let me ask you this, since we just talked about him. I think this is getting underplayed a lot, and people aren't going to give credit where credit is due. But how do you think Jason Garrett will do as our OC this year?
I think he'll be great. I think he's a very good offensive coordinator. I'm excited to see how he develops Daniel Jones, Barkley, because of course he worked with Romo, he worked with Zeke. Dak Prescott was a 4th-round pick, if I'm correct, and he developed him into something.
3rd or 4th.
Either.
You look at the players and say what you will about Jason Garrett as a head coach. You look at what he's done with offenses. I mean, DeMarco Murray, granted, they had a stud offensive line, and we don't have that kind of line, but DeMarco Murray ran for 1,800 yards one year, and then Zeke had some great years. And dare I say, I'm sorry, Cowboys fans, but I know you'll agree with this, Alex. Saquon Barkley is a more explosive running back than DeMarco Murray and Ezekiel Elliott. So I think he's going to do some good things with that offense this year. And if the receivers can stay healthy, looking at you, Evan Ingram, the play action is going to be lethal.
It will be. Yeah. Yeah, we should do a lot of play action rollouts, throw the ball to Ingram because he's the fastest guy on the field, so it makes sense. I want to say hi to some people. Colby Sports, what's up? Yo, Paper Portal, Jared Williams, Little Man, No Sports. I think Little Man said, you should get a jersey. He said, get a Barkley jersey. He'll consider it.
The Paper Portal has a good question. And that's something I just referenced. I think the Steelers' defense is going to be fine. Offensively, I think that's where your biggest question mark is. I think it's where we're going to find out if Jason Garrett can do something special with our offense and that play action I just mentioned, because your D-line probably going to be better than our O-line, maybe. I mean, I don't know how Thomas is going to do as a rookie. I mean, rookies look good in college, or players look good in college. They come out, and the NFL is a different animal. But if the line can give Jones a little bit of time, and they can get that play action working with Barkley, and of course, a healthy Barkley is a difference maker. I expect Jones to get sacked a few times in the game, probably a fumble. I'm gonna be honest. I think we can win that, but it'll be a close one.
Yeah, it'll be very close. What's up, Daniel Berry, the GOAT? All right. Let's see. Paper Porn. I got a question for you guys. Did you read this?
That's the one I just answered.
Oh, okay. All right. Cowboy X Factor with a question. Patriots fan.
I don't know what he asked before that. That's something we can talk about real quick. It's not Giants news, Alex, but it's NFC East. Dak Prescott got offered, I think it was $175 million over, I don't know how many years it was, and he still wants more. So I pose this question to you. If Dak Prescott plays similar to what he's done the last few years, maybe Andy Dalton comes in and plays even better in a mop-up role, or Dak gets hurt for a game, is there a chance the Cowboys could say, you know what, Dak, you want too much money, and then go with Andy Dalton?
Yeah, I mean, it could happen. And maybe Andy Dalton is the better. I think Andy is the better quarterback. I mean, I think he still has some years left in him. He was just on a bad Bengal team.
I think he's only 30ish, so it's not. Yeah, you're right. He's got a lot of years left in him, and
Yeah.
you never know. Sometimes players get injured, and the backup fits better than the starter. I mean, Tom Brady took over the job from Drew Bledsoe. The rest is history. Heck, happened to Drew Bledsoe again when Tony Romo went in for an injured Drew Bledsoe in Dallas, and then we saw Colin Kaepernick go in for Alex Smith. I mean, a lot of times the backup will surprise you and end up being the guy and the right guy.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Caden dropped it. $175 million for 5 years, and he doesn't want it.
Wow.
That's $35 million a year, and
Why wouldn't Dak want to accept that? I'm just trying to think why he wouldn't want to accept that. I know the cap is going up in a couple of years, isn't that right?
I think he wants his last year to be worth like $45 million. And look, Cowboys fans, I think will agree. Dak Prescott is a good quarterback, and I think he gets hated on a little too much. But he is not a $40 million quarterback. He's not a top 3 quarterback in the NFL. If you want to put him in the top 10, I won't argue with that. But
yeah, I won't argue with either.
Top 3, not there yet.
Yeah, not there yet. What's up, Isaac? Jared says, I'm tired of losing to the Cowgirls and Beagles. We both are. We all are.
Beagles. Yes. It's. I think we've lost 6 in a row to both of them, or maybe more.
Yeah.
A lot.
What's up, Mysterio? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know what, though? It could be, again, in that case, Cowboy X Factor, good point. It could be a case of maybe not the right fit and maybe not the right coaching circumstances. I mean, a lot of folks were talking about Ryan Tannehill being pretty much a bust in Miami.
Yeah.
And you put him in Tennessee, and he's not that far away from a Super Bowl. So sometimes, you make a switch, and it ends up being a right switch and better for the team and better for that player. I don't know if Andy Dalton would be better with the Cowboys than he was with Cincinnati, but he would have a better offensive line, probably better receiving core at this point.
Oh, yeah. He should be
and a better running back.
Yeah, he has everything. Yeah. I mean, any quarterback that plays in Dallas has all of the things needed to be good. Good running back, solid offensive line, good defense, good receiving core, that's for sure.
Mystere Entertainment, my friend, haven't seen you well. Good to see you. Good to see everybody.
What's up, everybody? Yeah, what's up? My man, the Sports Reaction. If you're not subscribed to him, definitely subscribe to him. I posted the link in the description, so you can subscribe to Sports Reaction.
Holy moly. So Cowboy X Factor was just informed us Kirk Cousins in 2022 has a 45. So that's probably what Dak Prescott's looking for. Oh my God. He's not worth it. Kirk Cousins, really.
He's not worth it. Yeah.
If you ain't got a ring, then you should not get the blame.
Yeah. What's the GOAT? How's it going? Said R2.
Good R2. Here's a good question from Caden.
Richard.
Any chance Joe Flacco beats out Sam Darnold for the starting position? That's, of course, with the New York Jets.
Man, I can't see that happening unless Darnold just gets injured. Then Joe Flacco goes in.
Yeah, Flacco's been injured. Wrong side of 30, Alex. Sam Darnold. Barring Darnold just collapsing and like throwing 1 touchdown against 8 pickles, I really don't see that happening.
Yeah. Darnold is the short backup. I'm not backup, starter rather. Yeah, Darnold is starting. But Joe Flacco is a good signing for the Jets, I think. Just brings some better,
Veteran, there you go. He's veteran, a Super Bowl winner. Say what you want about Joe Flacco. Giants fans, you might not like this, but he is very similar to Eli Manning, where in the regular season he was a good quarterback, but nothing that would blow your socks off. And then he did it once, Eli did it twice, but had an elite playoff run.
Yeah.
Flacco was unstoppable that 1 year. Really never did much in the regular season. And, Eli Manning parallels him a little bit, where he was very good in the regular season. I would say Eli is a better quarterback than Joe Flacco, but then he had 2 unbelievable playoff runs that really cemented his legacy.
It really did. I mean, those are in my opinion, the greatest playoff runs of all time. I mean, I did not watch I've been not watching football all my life. I just started watching football when the Giants in the 2010 season. I started watching it.
I was gonna be my next question. I know you're obviously, I'm old enough to be your dad, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
I was wondering when you started watching the Giants, if you were there for the first Super Bowl, because you would have been very young when Eli
Yeah,
took down the
I
Patriots.
remember watching it. I was 9 years old. I remember watching it. It was I can't, I was like ecstatic. I was very happy. Uh, and we
Oh, that's right. Clowney's not signed yet, is he?
no, he's not. Oh, yeah. So I think someone will sign him eventually, but the teams are just laying around seeing who will get him.
The problem is the money. He thinks he's worth Aaron Donald, which is I think $22 million a year, and he's not.
He's not. No.
He hasn't lived up to his draft position or his hype. He's been a good player at times, but he had his worst season ever last year with only 3 sacks with the Seahawks. Played on all I think 15 or 16 games, and he's not worth $20 million. He hasn't proven that yet.
No, he hasn't, and he can't show us that he can stay healthy too. So that's a concern.
There you go. I mean, that's the biggest thing with any player in any sport. Doesn't matter how good you are. If you can't stay healthy and can't be on the field or the court or whatever it is, I mean, Joel Embiid's a perfect example. He's hurt all the time in the NBA.
Yeah.
Can't be on the court. Yeah. You're useless.
Yeah. I mean, I want a guy that will be a soldier like Eli. Eli never got injured, which is incredible. It's a hard thing to do in this NFL.
Let me post something at you and the chat, because me and OGR Sports talked about this briefly, and we definitely disagreed. He was very happy that Saquon Barkley played through the injury last year, where I said it was a lost season. I would have liked to have seen him maybe rest another game or two and come back at 100%, because we can't risk the franchise running back in a lost season. So I was against it. He was for it. Where did you stand on that last year?
Oh, like you're talking about when we pulled Barkley. We played Barkley like after a few weeks after the injury,
and when he was clearly still hurt but was still playing.
Yeah, listen, our season was done anyway. I think maybe we should have rested him. I mean, yeah, he was not the same really. Definitely not.
I agree, because he came out recently and said, well, yes, I did play hurt. It's like, well, no kidding. You had 13 carries for 1 yard in the game. That's not Saquon Barkley.
It's not Barkley at all. Yeah, but I'm just happy he squeaked out 1,000 yards. That's incredible, in my opinion.
He did. He had 4 100-yard games, and I think they were bookends. I think it was the start of the season and the end of the season, and everything in the middle was just hit or miss.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Eagles trade Alshon? I don't think so. Not yet.
Let me say this about the Eagles, because you and I are not Eagles fans, clearly. We're wearing –
Oh, no. I can't stand that team.
You've got to give credit to that organization last year. With all the injuries they had, their whole season core was wiped out. The running backs were injured. I called a game against the Giants at the end of the season. I didn't know who any of their offensive players were outside Carson Wentz, and they still put enough players out there to make it to the playoffs. So that's a credit to the coach.
That's what good teams do. You got to use what you got.
Yep.
You got to use what you got. It's a next man up mentality. So the next man has to step up, and that's what they did. Huge, big time. I mean, the Eagles did no wrong with that. Sports Expert 101, what's up? If you're new, subscribe to both of us, Sports Reaction and me, of course. But definitely go into the link down below and subscribe to the Sports Reaction.
So Martin Lopez has asked a couple of times, I think, Zion or Jean Morant to make the playoffs.
Oh, I think it's Ja first.
Yeah, probably because the regular season might be over. We don't, or they're talking about a round robin wild card thing with. I don't think they know what they're going to do yet. I think it's going to be the Grizzlies.
Yeah, me too. I think it's the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies are good last year.
Alshon Jeffrey has led the Eagles in drops the past 2 seasons, and he hasn't played a full season in either of those, has he?
I don't think so. Maybe I forget. Maybe in 2017, I forget. But he's not. He's been just below average receiver like the last 2 years, dropping critical throws in critical games. I love Nelson Aguilar. I love that guy for just dropping all the passes. I wish the Eagles kept him.
I got a little tidbit here that Devontae Freeman from Patriots fan willing to set out 2020 if no one signs him for I guess what he's looking for. You know, Devontae Freeman had a few good years, but he dinged up and missed a substantial time. I think 2 seasons ago and wasn't really great last year. If memory serves me correct. I think at this point his best years are behind him, and the NFL is very much a "what have you done for me lately?" And if
Yes.
on your resume, your last 2 seasons are, you're not going to get the money you're looking for.
Nope. You got to do it. You got to use your time wisely. Paper Portal says, I've seen a lot of Giants fans saying they think you guys will win 8 games. Seeing that you have a very tough schedule, I think 8 at best for you guys. Yes, I agree. I think 8 wins is very likely. I would like to say just a smidge more realistic, just saying like 7 wins. I don't want to push it over the top. This is a rebuilding year. We got a fresh coaching staff, a whole new system. Daniel has done a new system in his second year. So I'm just going to give it time. I respect other people's thoughts. Maybe we win 9 games, 10. But that's just pushing it over the top, in my opinion.
Even if we go 7-9, yeah, as for Giants fans, we won 4 games this season, 5 before that, and 3 before that.
Yeah.
So 7's a huge jump. And a few of you, this is a good question for you, Alex, because I'm not a Nets fan. Isaac's been asking, should the Nets trade for Bradley Beal of the Wizards star?
I don't think so. I don't think that's going to happen. I just don't think that's going to happen. I would like it, but I don't think so. I don't know what we would have to give up. That's the thing.
Jimmy Trader than Jared Goff. Jared Goff, I think, got exposed a little bit. That is fake. No way.
He's shitting with us.
Come on. No freaking way. They're going to give up a guy that just brought him to the Super Bowl for a guy that's
no way. Yeah.
heading in the wrong direction.
Give us some proof of that, Jared, next time.
Yeah, I think Daniel Barry, he's saying Goff. I think that offense got exposed a little bit. It was kind of a gimmicky, and it was firing on all cylinders, which got to the Super Bowl. But then the Patriots laid the smack down on them defensively. They haven't been the same since. Plus, Todd Gurley, not the same player, not even with them. Did he go somewhere else, Alex?
He went to the Falcons, I think.
Right.
That's it. Yeah. The Rams are just declining every year, I think, ever since the Super Bowl. They're not the same team, frankly.
Defensively, they're pretty much still there, but offensively, they're going the wrong direction. Yeah,
they book it. Giants 8-8. I would love to see that.
8-8 would be 8-8 would be such a big step in the right direction. And the crazy thing is, because I know we have people in here that are Giants fans or fans of teams in the NFC East, 8-8 can still win that division this season. I'm not saying we're going to, but it has been the NFC East lately. And a lot of people are like, well, the Giants have a new head coaching staff, da-da-da-da. The Cowboys and the Redskins do too as well. The Eagles are the only one with the coaching staff returning. So, I mean, there's going to be a lot of teams kind of having to scramble and learn things quickly with, obviously the pandemic. Should be an interesting NFL. It's going to be unlike the picture behind you, Alex. I don't think there's going to be fans in the stands.
I don't think so either. I think there will be football, but no fans. It is what it is. I'll rather watch it with no fans if it means that we won't have any football at all. I would like to watch it.
I will say this. I'm a UFC fan, and I was skeptical about the UFC with no audience, and it is awesome with no fans. You can hear the corners. When they hit, when you're watching a UFC show, you don't hear them hit each other because you hear the crowd. You hear the announcer.
Yeah. It's
not now. Bam! I mean, it's like, oh my gosh, you hear stuff. It's crazy. So just at first glance, it might, or first, looking at like NFL without fans, it's weird. But then you're going to hear everything the quarterback. So you're going to hear defensive linemen. I'm going to F you up. I mean, you're going to hear stuff that everybody's going to be mic'd up because you're going to be able to hear everything. So it might be cool. Let's enjoy it for something different because it'll probably, hopefully, normal again next year. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they do it this year.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, that's for sure. It shall be interesting. Bucks are being overhyped, says Isaac. I think they are a little bit overhyped, but I think they're going to be better than the Browns were last year because the Browns were very overhyped. But I think the Bucks had 9 to 10 wins. What about you?
The Browns were hyped up last year because Baker Mayfield had a great rookie season. Obviously, he fell off a cliff this year, and getting OBJ, you would expect them to be better. Let me just say this. Maybe Giants fans, if they're still partial to him, don't want to hear this. Since he broke his ankle, I don't think he's the same player. I think
he's not. He hasn't been.
He hasn't been the same player, and it's hard not to hype the Bucks right now when you look at last season.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston threw for over 5,000 yards and 30 touchdowns.
I mean, that's incredible.
And 30 pickles. He had
30 pickles.
Craziest year in NFL history. and then you take him out, and Brady's not going to have the mobility or the arm that he has at this point. But I got to say, this is probably, if Gronk is 80% Gronk, going to be the best receiving core that Brady's ever had. Yes, he had Randy Moss and had Wes Welker.
But this tops that, I think. This is the best he's ever had.
This is Evans, Godwin, and Gronk, and that's what I mean. If this is a good Gronk, plus he's got Cameron Brate.
And they got O.J. Howard, who's not
O.J.
bad.
Howard's. I mean,
they got all sorts of weapons.
I don't remember who the running back is. Do you know?
It's Ronald Jones, I believe. Yeah, it's Ronald Jones. Anyway, it's okay. What's up, Sports?
Amir, what's up? Yeah, it's a nice hat.
Nice hat. Yeah, nice hat.
All right, Jared, your last comment says, "Hey, Mario," so I read it.
By the way, I don't. Amir has the same hat that you're wearing.
Yeah, but I wear it better. Hats. His brims are very flat. He's got to learn how to make it fit better.
I agree, man. Definitely you wear it better.
And then you'll be styling. So the Buccaneers, I think you're right on the spot there. I think 10 wins is probably where they're in a tough division. Let's not forget that. Saints are no pushover, right? Bucs, Saints.
No, I think the Saints are still a good team.
Drew Brees is old. You can't count him out. So 10 seems likely. 11's not beyond that, but people are going to say 12-4 and 13-3. I'm like, I don't like Belichick, Alex, but a lot of his success was the system that he was in. You weren't watching football then, but in 2008, after the Giants beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl, Tom Brady blew out his knee in the first week of the season. Matt Castle was the starting quarterback for the Patriots that year, 11-5.
Wow. Hey, you never know. Belichick's one of the greatest ever, so he runs a great system over there in New England. What's up, Alex? You have the most boring Giants hat. Oh, now he's salty.
Oh, yeah.
Now he comes after my hat.
It's got an NY on it. It's just a different color, but it's the exact same thing.
Pretty much. It's a hat. Jamal Adams officially done with the Jets. The Jets would be foolish not to sign the guy, in my opinion. He's like one of the best safeties in the NFL.
The Jets are a foolish team. I think we can all agree on that.
They are. That's right. They haven't had much success recently.
I think you bring up a good point. The Falcons, when you look at them, you think Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, you got a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, you got a top 5 wide receiver, some would say top 3. And for whatever reason, there's just a lot of things not working on that team. I really think that loss to the Patriots in the Super Bowl, having that halftime lead of, what were they up, Alex, 31-3 or something ridiculous?
28-3.
28-3, and then blowing the game, I think that really affected them here. And they haven't been the same since.
Trade Adams for a first-round pick. Maybe the Jets do that, but I don't know. It's just Adams is a beast. What's up, Mile High? What's up, man? Mile High Sports.
All right. Jared's been wanting me to read, so I'm going to read it. He says, Jared Goff didn't do anything in the Super Bowl. Neither offense did anything, really. Yeah, won the previous games because of the no pass. Well, that no pass interference, I think we can agree, was the worst non-call for pass interference maybe we've ever seen in playoff history. It was so obvious and egregious, and that's why the rule changed. Now there's instant replays for pass interference. And then the Saints kind of get hosed again with a kind of a questionable, very, very touchy situation against the Vikings where Rudolph catches a touchdown and there's a lot of contact before that. You could have called PI in both of them, which would have the play.
Yeah, I don't think that was pass interference. I mean, it's they let the play go on, but the year before that it was pass interference. The Rams were never a Super Bowl team. The Mets.
I am old enough. I watched the Mets last World Series. NY Mets, NY Giants. I don't know how old you are, but I did watch the 86 Mets beat the 86 Red Sox. Of course, the infamous Bill Buckner moment where the ball went through his legs and the Mets came back and won Game 6 and then won Game 7. It was crazy to watch. And I loved the baseball back then. These days, not so much.
Not so much.
It's, Alex, what really did it for me is, I don't know if you remember, but the Red Sox played the Yankees in something called the London series last year.
Oh yes, I watched that whole thing. That was great.
It was a 2-game series, and I called both games on my channel. So I was
I
stuck
remember.
on the couch for 5 hours each day, and after that, I was like, "Yep, I'm calling less baseball." It wrecked my weekend.
Yeah, 5 hours is a lot. A lot.
It was
Well, yeah, yeah.
it was terrible. What's up, Cajun Chris?
Yeah, it was definitely pass interference. The Saints got hosed. The Saints just have bad luck in the playoffs, frankly.
They have.
They're a good enough team to make the Super Bowl. Stuff does not go right for them. Yeah.
You would think Drew Brees would have been in more than one Super Bowl at this point.
You would think so, yes. Yeah. I hope Brees will make it this year because it is probably his last year. It would be nice to see the guy get one.
The London series was crazy because the Yankees won one game 17-13. But it's different when you're calling it on your channel because you can't really, if I was watching the game just casually, I can get up and go to the bathroom, I can walk, I can do stuff while the game's on. But when I'm calling it, I'm locked into calling the game, and that was just a long time.
What are your thoughts on the 4th and 15 onside kick change? When was that rule enacted?
Yeah, I missed that too, Isaac. The NFL, we're all fans, obviously, but they keep tinkering around with the game, and there is an old saying: "If it ain't broke, don't fix it." I don't know why they keep changing things over. I know they say safety, but
I don't like the changes. And wasn't there like this rule, like if someone's like black in the draft, like a black GM, you can trade up or something? I don't know. It's whatever. It's stupid.
There's a new Rooney rule proposal, and me and OGR talked about this on his channel. Look, we're all for diversity, blah, blah, blah. But what they're proposing is that if you have a minority GM or hire one, you go up like 10 spots or 15 spots with your third round. But it's basically you're going to get rewarded for hiring minorities. And that is a good cause. Diversity is good. Where I work right now for the state, it's the most diverse workplace I've ever worked in, and it's cool. I don't care who's what. Yeah. But by rewarding, we're worried that teams are going to do the right thing, but for the wrong reasons. They could hire, let's say, a Hispanic coach or an African-American coach for 1 year, get their higher draft pick, and be like, and I don't see that happening, but people could do the wrong thing. I mean, people do shady things all the time. I mean, NFL players get suspended for PEDs for a reason because they're trying for an advantage. So I think it's rewarding. I don't think that's good, because then also if you were to get hired and you found out because of a quote or a reward, you don't want to get your job that way. You want to get it based on your merit, based on the fact you can do your job because of your skin color.
100% agree with everything you just said. Mile High has a question. Well, thanks for Sports has thanks for Leonard. Also, I don't like him because I'm not sure. Who's Leonard? Thanks for Leonard. Also, I don't like him because he left.
Is he talking about Kawhi Leonard? Is Mile High a Spurs fan?
Oh, he's a Raptors fan.
Oh, he's a Raptors fan.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Thanks for Kawhi Leonard. I want to
first Leonard Marshall. I'm like, no, he's not old enough. So.
Yeah, I was thinking Leonard Williams for some reason.
Yes, that Leonard Williams popped in my head too. I was Sugar Ray Leonard, which is a boxer. But yes, I'm a Spurs fan, and the Spurs had an absolute huge meltdown. For anybody that's not aware, with their superstar Kawhi Leonard gets traded to the Raptors, and in the one season he plays for the Raptors, he helps them win a championship. And I will say this: if the Golden State Warriors were healthy, they would have won the championship last season. But
absolutely, no doubt.
They weren't healthy, so it is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah, you're right. NFL should stop protecting quarterback. I agree. Like if you lay like a fingernail on Tom Brady, they'll throw the flags.
I don't know if anybody remembers in the chat, or if you remember watching, Alex. There was a play last year where a player was about to hit Tom Brady, and he thought he threw the ball, so he stopped, and Brady didn't throw it. He actually tucked it and then ran in for like a touchdown. It was like a 3 or 4 yard run, and he was afraid to get penalized. You could clearly tell he just stopped. And I understand you don't want a quarterback to get drilled face.
It's football. It's football. Let him play. It's over excessive.
I mean, my goodness, I remember, and I'm going to show my age here. Probably, I'm guessing almost nobody remembers this in the chat, but you may have seen it in a highlight reel. It was like 1985 or 86. The Bears were playing, I don't know if it was the Packers or somebody, but Jim McMahon completed a pass, and the defensive lineman goes up behind him, and he scoops him up, and he like side suplexes him on the ground.
Mm.
You just don't see stuff like that. And maybe just, I'm like, man, like they were actually like men. You guys probably watched The Last Dance about Michael Jordan.
Yes, I watched it a little bit.
That stuff the Detroit Pistons were doing to Jordan and the Bulls, they would never get away with that today. They were beating each other up, and there was general hate. That's why people say, "Why do you like the NBA in the '90s so much?" I'm like, not only do you have who I feel is the GOAT in Jordan,
yes.
generally didn't like each other. Reggie Miller.
It was a different game back then, just totally different, more physical.
So
it was
physical.
It was more smash mouth. Like you got to go in the paint and try to get a bucket. Today it's all 3-pointers. It's all everywhere.
Yeah.
It's but it's fun to watch. But
I still love watching it, but I hate to say it, but it is a watered down product similar to the NFL. And I'm not knocking the NBA or NFL, but they've changed the rules so teams score more points because what's going to draw viewers? More points on the scoreboard. So defenses are the ones that are being penalized, so to speak, and literally because of the rule changes.
I agree. Dirty Rob says, NFL wouldn't be able to survive if it remains as violent. People got bigger, faster, and stronger.
I agree to an extent, but I don't know if everybody remembers. Aaron Rodgers one season was having some issues with concussions. He got himself a special helmet. I don't think he's had a concussion since. So he's got his special, helmet, and it seems to be working. Yeah, people are bigger, faster, stronger, but watch the NFL from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, even 90s. I mean, they were laying quarterbacks out, and quarterbacks didn't get up and cry. They get up and they were like, "What?" And then he went out and completed a pass. I mean, it's just maybe people are bigger, stronger, faster. I hate to say it. I don't think they're as tough as they used to be. They're pampered.
No, they're not. I can mention a lot of quarterbacks that I do not think would have succeeded in like the 80s or 90s. They were beasts in the NFL. Like Giants had LT, the greatest defensive player ever. We got Carl Banks. I mean, these type of guys are just way out. I mean, they play in a different era of football. It's just way different. I couldn't see some quarterbacks succeeding.
Players, Alex, some quarterbacks were afraid of Lawrence Taylor going.
Yeah, they were afraid.
Afraid? You don't get that today.
It's a totally different game.
Oh, we have to talk. I see DeJounte Murray being mentioned. I will say this, NY Beast. I don't know what the question or prompt was. I think DeJounte Murray has a lot of talent, but the system he's in right now is not letting him use it to his full capability. I think Pop's going to be leaving anyway after the season. So if Timmy D's the next coach, maybe they can utilize him better. But right now, a lot of changes need to be made to that team. I could go on and on.
I got a question for TSR and the chat. So, how many rushing yards do you think Saquon Barkley will get around this year? And how many touchdowns? I'll start by saying I think he'll have around 11 to 12 touchdowns. And I think we'll get across 1,000 yards again. I just feel like he's that good.
We're assuming he's playing all 16 games, correct?
Yeah, assuming that, yes. If he plays all 16.
I'm going to say he crosses 1,500. Which would be an average of over 90 a game. And
I would love that.
He reminds me a little more of Barry Sanders in the touchdown category, where he's going to get goal line carries, but teams are going to put so many in the box to stop him. I think more of his touchdowns are going to be the type where he breaks a run for 20 yards, 50 yards, 75 yards. That's what he did in college. I mean, he was just constantly running for touchdowns over 50 yards.
A lot of Barkley's touchdowns are from long runs. He's very good at seeing the gap and taking off. It's a breakaway speed. It's unlike any else.
1,511 rushing.
Yeah, I could see that. I
agree with Antonio Brown, in his defense, he got absolutely lit up. And I forgot who it was. Was it Vontaze Burfict that laid him out?
I forget.
Antonio Brown has not been the same since that hit. Clearly, he's been doing some wacky stuff off the field.
Same with Odell. They're both not the same. They're both divas, so. And both of those receivers would not survive in the early NFL. Like when you were watching, they would not survive. They would not be good, in my opinion.
Yeah. And one thing about diva wide receivers, they don't win either. Terrell Owens,
No, they don't. You can keep naming receivers. A lot of them have not won Super Bowls.
Now, Jerry Rice is an elite receiver that won Super Bowls. I don't remember ever him being a diva. He just did his job.
That's what I like. Do your job.
That was Montez Perfect. Thank you, Mile High. Wild card game 2016. Yeah, he laid Antonio Brown out.
He'll run for 1,500 yards, but offense will depend on the opponent. Yes, depending on who we're playing. Joe Judge even said the game plan is going to change week to week based on the opponent. So maybe Daniel Jones will have to throw it a lot, and sometimes we'll give Barkley the rock a lot. It's all going to depend.
I'm not texting and talking to him. I'm actually looking up Saquon Barkley's stats for not last year, but the year before. Because I forgot what he did. I think he went for it's 1,300 his rookie year.
Yeah, he got like 2,000 total yards, I think, like scrimmage yards or something like that.
You're probably right. He wasn't used. I mean, Pat Shurmur's offense, him and Shule were just a mess. So he did play all 16 games, which I thought. 11 touchdowns rushing, which I'm guessing he's going to duplicate that. And now my phone just got wacky. Oh, well.
Thank you.
You're right. I think it was 2000 his first year.
Yeah. Something. He had a great freaking year. Thank you, Jared. Ring the notification bell. Subscribe to both of us. Subscribe to Sports Reaction.
I'll plug my channel real quick if you don't mind, Alex. So obviously I'm a New York Giants fan, San Antonio Spurs fan, United States Women's National Team soccer fan, a UFC fan, a Yankees fan, plus 80s movie reviews, plus Magic the Gathering Commander, plus my Christian metal band. So it is a sports channel, but obviously there's a lot on there that's keeping me very busy these days. Because
you're grinding up to music content, movie reviews, stuff like that.
Well, the way I figured, Alex, is YouTube says YouTube. And for the last year I was torn. I'm like, I'm a sports channel. I should only do sports. And I was like, you know what? I should share my other hobbies. And, of course, right now we really don't have sports. So it worked out for the best in the end.
Yeah.
Arcu 3. I want to answer that one. Okay, we'll get to Dirty Boy Rob and then Arcu 3 next.
Yeah. So, we'll get to Dirty Rob. Which wouldn't be... Why wouldn't AB? He still played after the hit loss. I don't think AB will win. I mean, you can argue that, Rob. I don't think so. I don't think so.
I think he would succeed. I mean, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
The game is so different. So Arcu is asking which Spurs will be upcoming stars in the future. Arcu, I really like what I've seen in limited appearances from Keldon Johnson. He's playing with a lot of energy, a lot of effort, and I'm really hoping he can be our small forward for the next 10 years. Murray, not sure yet on him, and Lucas Samanic and Quandre Witherspoon have barely played. DeJounte Murray's still a question. I know Spurs fans, myself included, were a little disappointed in how he played this season, but he's also coming back from a torn ACL. And he's still young, so I'm going to give him a pass on this year. Next season's a make or break for Murray. I am a Nats fan, too. I'm openly a Nats fan.
Yeah. Is the Yankees your second favorite team?
It's tied. I've gotten flack for this on my channel. If you go to my oldest videos, I'm sure I wear a Nats hat in April. And Yankees fan from living in New England. Lived in Virginia for 10 years, and I wanted to follow one team in the D.C. area. No way in hell I was going to root for the Redskins. It's just not happening. Didn't care about the Wizards. And I'm not really an NHL guy, so I didn't root for the Caps, who finally won a title. So the hell with it. I'll root for the Nats. And the Nats sucked for the longest time. Had one good year when Strasburg had been coming back from surgery or whatever it was, and they got blown out from the Cardinals in the ninth inning. And last season I was upfront with folks. I'm like, look, I'm a Yankees fan, a Nats fan. If they play in the World Series, which would have been incredible, I have seen the Yankees win multiple World Series. I've never seen the Nats win one. So last season, I was up front. I said, if they play, I'm going to root for the Nats just because I've never seen them win. And the Nats had a magical run last year. I don't think they're going to repeat that this season. Not at all. Last year was one of those special, magical Eli Manning type.
Yes.
We're card, we make it into the
playoffs. Nobody expected them to make the World Series.
No, the Dodgers were the best team in the National League, led the smackdown on them. The Astros, the cheating Houston Astros, were the best team in the American League and beat them. All on the road, mind you. All the games in that one were on the road. So it was cool. Be safe, Sport Reactions. He's got a tornado where he is.
Sport Reactions? What is he done? Tornado? Who said that?
Huh.
Who said?
Sport Reactions saying there's a tornado where he is. So be safe, my man.
Yeah, be safe. Oh, wow. Be safe.
What state are you in?
Me?
No. You're in New York. Connecticut, New York. No, but Sport Reactions, I wonder what state they're having tornadoes in.
All right. Let's see. Falcons and Vikings guys gonna teach the rest of the NFL how to get crowd noise. Falcons are notorious for that. All right. They've been pumping crowd noise in the stadium lately.
I've heard the Seahawks do that too. As loud as they are, the pump fake noise to make it even louder.
Yeah. It's already loud as it is.
Boom. There you go. No, that's a good one by Mile High. I like that.
So, how do you think Daniel Jones is going to do in his second year? He's not going to have a good year, or I think he has a chance.
I want to throw this out. So, Sport Reactions, Illinois, and yes, Mile, the Nats were a huge underdog. They started 19-31, and yes, Bryce Harper left the team the year before. So, doesn't he look like the biggest jerk off in all of baseball? He leaves the team and they win a World Series. But Daniel Jones, we have to remember two things. One, the negative. He fumbled 18 times last year. That could be correct. Danny fumbles can be corrected. He also threw 24 touchdowns in 12 starts.
Imagine if he started every game. He would have broken the record.
He would have over 30. That's pretty damn good. He had a terrible offensive line, a compromised Saquon Barkley. Not once last year did he have all of his receivers on the field at the same time. When I'm talking about Golden Tate, Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton, and Evan Engram. Never had them on the field at once at the same time. If they stay healthy, his full complement of weapons, something he's never had, I'm going to say this offensive system is going to be better than what Shermer brought to him last year because I thought his offense kind of sucked. I feel like Judge is going to use Barkley or Jason Garrett's going to put him in a better position to succeed with the healthy Saquon Barkley, and the offensive line is probably going to be better with Thomas on left tackle, sold over at right. I expect DJ to throw for 30-plus touchdowns, 4,000-plus yards, and I think he's going to have a little bit of the fumbleitis, but not to the level he did last year.
Yeah, I don't think so. I would love to see Joe Judge work with him on that, just like Tom Coughlin did with Eli. Just to teach him techniques to hold on to the football. And he got to build his pocket awareness, that's for sure.
But you know what? That's, again, being a rookie, not being used to NFL speed. And Tom Coughlin helped Tiki Barber go from a fumblehead to not fumbling. So, I mean, they're a good head coach, and we're putting a lot of stock into Joe Judge and Jason Garrett, but Garrett's a proven winner of offenses. Yeah. And Joe Judge is coming from, like him or love him or hate him, from a Bill Belichick system. So
Bill Belichick and Nick Saban in Alabama. So he has an incredible resume. He has a lot of football knowledge. And I'm a big fan of Joe Judge so far. I would have to see what we can do next year. This is like the most excited I've been for a season of the Giants since like 2012, 2011. It's like I actually feel confident. I love this coaching staff. I like the direction we're heading. How about you?
Yeah, it's funny you say that because the Giants, of course, the 2011 team won Super Bowl 46. And for Giants fans that don't remember, and I hate to bring this up, the Giants were on their way to possibly making another Super Bowl. Yeah, they were 11-1 in 2012 when Plaxico Burress literally shot himself on the leg, and the team was completely derailed from there. And
we could have had a dynasty, guys.
At least for a couple years. I mean,
couple years.
Good. That totally derailed the team. And we had a couple mediocre seasons. Then we get Odell Beckham Jr., and I'll admit that year, his rookie year, I was very excited. which I think is the last time we had a winning record, right? Was that when we were 11-5 with McAdoo?
Oh yeah, we were 11-5 in 2016.
And I was excited, and I was extremely excited for the next season. And that's when all our wide receivers went down. Brandon Marshall, I thought was going to have a career resurgence, went down. OBJ, of course, broke his leg after 4 games. Every wide receiver, I don't know, Eli was throwing to by week 8. And since then, this is probably the most excited I've been.
I don't know who.
It's tough.
Probably, yeah. We were not. I don't think we were good in 2016. We just we spent behind free agency. We got a bunch of guys like Snacks Harrison, other guys on defense. It bulked up our defense, but it was only short-term success.
Janoris was overpaid, and then who's the lineman? We signed to the chat. We signed a defensive lineman that year we paid a ton of money. I think he came from the Titans or the Dolphins. His name is escaping me, and he was good for once.
It was like from the Titans. Did we sign him this year?
It was a 2016 Giants team. We signed a free agent defensively, and
I don't know.
We overpaid for him. Yes, Jared Williams, Plaxico Burress. So here's the story. He went to a nightclub in New York and had a pistol in his sweatpants. And the safety apparently wasn't on, and it went off and shot himself in the leg. That's illegal in New York, so he went to jail for I don't remember how long, but he was out of the NFL for a couple years. And he later told folks, I had the weapon with me because I didn't feel safe going into the nightclub, which of course made tons of Giants fans irate because if you don't feel safe going somewhere, you don't go.
Exactly.
Olivia, thank you. Vernon. Olivier Vernon.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, Vernon was good, except he couldn't
for 1 year.
1 year. Yeah, he was a sack monster. That's the one. Thank you, new NY Mets, new NY Giants.
Good job, man. I couldn't pull his name.
Yeah. That's a good one. I'm very high on the Broncos this year, says Mile High. It's 9-7.
Wow.
It could happen. I think I'm high on the Broncos too. I think they're gonna have a good year. I think 7 to 8 wins is their floor.
They could finish second place in that division. They're not beating the Chiefs. That's definitely out of the cards. But the Chargers are rebuilding even more so than the Broncos right now, and the Raiders. I don't
know. It's confusing. Who knows? I'm not a fan of Derek Carr, in my opinion. I think they should look for another quarterback in the next year or so. Probably go Cheddar Bob himself.
Yeah, it was terrible because he caught the winning touchdown in Super Bowl 42. Winning touchdown, everybody's going to love you after making a play. He played that game hurt too. He didn't have a great game, but he caught the winning touchdown, and then he just does a buddy of mine said I should make a video about this, Alex, and I don't want to, but in the last, this would now be the last 15 years, we've had a player shoot himself in the leg. We've had a player blow off his hand with a firecracker, most of his hand with JPP. And now the DeAndre Baker incident is, as classy as the Giants organization has been, we've had some real blemishes over the past 15 years.
Yeah, we have. And DRC was a good signing for 1 year. DRC was incredible in 2016. Right. But, hey, it is what it is. I mean, he was good. I was a big fan of his. Yeah.
RQ3. So this is not the same cup I've been drinking out of. I buy a package of these for a 50 at.
I have the same cups.
They're from Aldi or Walmart. I don't know. They're like $3 for 50.
Yeah. Jared says he's 744 years old.
Wow.
Older. He's ancient. Very ancient.
So let me ask you this. Who wins the NFC East in 2020?
The Cowboys, no doubt, in my opinion.
Yeah. I don't have much faith in the Eagles with all the injuries, and
I don't either. Eagle fans got mad at me when I predicted them going 8-8. They were like, "What? You're insane. We're going to sweep the Giants and Cowboys."
Is there now the Eagles? I forgot the kid's name. They drafted a quarterback in the second round.
Yeah, Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, thank you. So is there possibly are they, because Carson Wentz is a good quarterback when healthy. Guys, he's never won a playoff game. All the playoff wins with the Eagles the last 5 years are Nick Foles. Is it a chance that Carson Wentz might be out of there in a year or two?
Who knows at this point? I think Wentz, he's very talented, the most talented quarterback in the division. I'm not going to deny that because we all saw what he did in 2017, where he would have won the MVP if he didn't get injured, which has been the story of his career, getting injured.
Can't stay on.
So I don't know. It was just a bad pick for the Eagles. I was laughing my ass off. Oh my god, I laughed my ass off.
Last place, Redskins.
Yeah, Redskins, I would say.
Who do you think the starting quarterback is for the Redskins going into the season?
Dwayne Haskins, I think.
Didn't they sign Kyle Allen from the Panthers?
Oh, I think they did. They got Kyle Allen and Alex Smith.
I think Alex Smith's playing career is after that.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think so either. NYB wants me to read. Well, we saw that.
Yeah, we saw it. Yeah, he said except for the first year, he did acknowledge him, man. He said after the first year, not so much, but since then, we overpaid a lot that year. And yeah, it got us to the playoffs. And then we were digging a hole again for the next few years. Stuck in a hole. No, you're probably right, Jared. It's going to be interesting to see how the Cowboys season plays out, because if Dak Prescott gets hurt in a game, and you let's say he misses like 3 quarters, and Andy Dalton comes out and balls out and plays better than Dak has for the previous few games or whatever, plus with the money Dak Prescott wants and they can't come to an agreement so far on a contract, you could be in the midst of a full-blown quarterback controversy. I'm not wishing Dak Prescott gets hurt. Look, I'm not a Cowboys fan. I never wish any NFL player gets hurt.
I agree with that. I don't want anybody to get hurt, but I mean, I don't root for it. But if Dak got hurt, Andy Dalton's the next man up.
Next man up, and he can steal a job.
Never know.
I would say the 49ers.
49ers?
I have no reason to think they don't repeat. The Seahawks will be fine. The Cardinals are going to be much better this year, and they have
the Cardinals are my dark horse in the NFC. I like what they did this offseason. Do you have a dark horse or sleeper team like that you think could break out onto the scene?
I guess if I think the Giants are going 8-8, aren't they kind of a dark horse? Because that would be twice as many wins.
Could be. I mean, it'd be a long shot, but I'm looking for improvement this year.
I think the Cardinals are going to be would the Cardinals win 5 games last year? 6? I don't know. Does anybody know the Cardinals' record from last season?
Yeah, anybody know? I'm gonna look it up just real quick. But if anyone knows offhand, that would be great.
I mean, first they pull off one of the craziest trades we've seen in recent memory in the NFL when they trade Dave Johnson, who's, let's be honest, he's not the same player. He's been the last few years. He had one great season his second year. And they get DeAndre Hopkins, who arguably, I know there's a contract situation still being worked on in Houston, but when you get a guy that can be a top 3 wide receiver with a young quarterback who can run, I mean, Kyler Murray can scramble around, and DeAndre Hopkins was finding ways to get open in Houston. You don't think he's going to bring that to Arizona? Like, Kyler starts running around, it's like, okay, he'll eventually get open. He's that good.
And considering what the Texans got in return, it's like a bag of pretzels. I don't even know. Just bag of chips.
Terrible. If I was Deshaun Watson, I would be livid. I'd be like, seriously?
My God.
The best receiver.
It's one of the worst trades I've ever seen while watching football.
Will Fuller can't stay healthy. I think that's his name. Will Fuller the second.
Yeah, you got it. Will Fuller. He's good when he's healthy. They don't have like a number 1.
5-10. 5-10.
It's a 5-10-1. They tied with the Lions in the week 1.
Right.
Cardinals, Giants, and Broncos are all sleepers. Yeah, man. I think the Broncos are. I think the Broncos could be a sleeper. I'm not going to say my Giants are a sleeper, just because.
Alex, how many wins do you think the Cards get this year?
I think they get like 8 to 9 wins.
So that's a 3 to 4 win improvement. If the Giants win 8 games, that's a 4-win improvement. So
I'll be pleased with that. Yeah, if we can get like 7 to 8 wins, I'll be pleased. are Dolphins are a dark horse. Great, the Dolphins. We forget about the Dolphins because they did have a good offseason, very good. And their coach Brian Flores, he's a good coach, I think.
Yeah, there's going to be a complete shakeup in the AFC East because that has been dominated by one team for almost 2 decades, and that team is not going to be the same without Tom Brady.
Not at all. I don't have the Patriots winning many games. I mean, I think I said 7-9 for the Patriots, but I don't think they're
the quarterback is. Who's the Patriots quarterback?
Jared Stidham as of right now.
Who?
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 Jared.
Here's somebody. All right. This is towards you, Alex, and the chat. Where does Cam Newton go? Because he's still a free agent.
Oh, that's a great question. I think would it be crazy to say that he goes to the Patriots?
I was thinking that's why I asked him. I'm like, who needs a quarterback? And Bill Belichick has shown us many times in his career he's all about for reclamation projects, about bringing a guy in who might be washed up and trying to get some years out of him.
Yeah.
He's only like 30, 31. It's not like he's
still got a few years. Yeah.
Still got some years in him. He can stay healthy.
Yeah, he still has a few years. I don't know. And Belichick likes to work with he likes to build projects into something.
I don't know where else he would go. I think it's the
Jaguars. Do you think Jacksonville was a possibility just for like a backup role? Well, Minshew's the starter, or even or the Redskins maybe, like Ron Rivera, the ties to Ron Rivera and stuff.
You know, they still have money tied up in Alex Smith. They have Dwayne Haskins. He just gave money to Kyle Allen. I don't think they can afford. I mean, how many quarterbacks can they keep on their roster?
They're going to have to cut one.
They can't cut Alex Smith because it's injury related. He's not even on IR. They're not cutting Dwayne Haskins, and they just gave Kyle Allen a contract, so you can't cut him because then you're going to have a dead cap space of a player you just signed in the last few months. So I thought for sure the Redskins might take a chance on him and maybe sign him to a 2-year contract, groom Haskins a little bit. I think the Patriots wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, they wouldn't, man.
Don't disrespect Jared Stidham. I can't. I don't know who he is.
All right.
McGregor says, "Who's this fucking guy?" Because I don't know who he is.
Mile High says, Cam Newton goes to the Broncos practice squad just for Von Miller. I don't think he's playing around. That would be funny if Cam Newton went to the Broncos, a team that beat him in the Super Bowl, and Von Miller destroyed him in the Super Bowl.
That was a terrible Super Bowl. Not if you're a Broncos fan, but it was not a good Super Bowl to watch. It was
just for general fans. It was lame.
That was a 51 Carolina team too that just did not show up that day.
Yeah, that's crazy. What's up, Jeremy Hansman? What's up?
The Steelers for Cam Newton. Their backs were very inconsistent last year. Big Ben. I don't know, man. Coming back from a serious injury when you're pushing 40, I think a lot of Steelers fans expect him to be the same Ben.
I don't think so.
He didn't look good to start last year before he got hurt. I think his best days are behind him.
Me too. I agree. I agree with Rich. I don't think. I think Ben is over the hill.
Huh. I mean, sometimes it's hard, but sometimes you just got to look in the mirror, look at yourself, and say, "Hey, this player I like is done." I mean, Eli. After those 2 games last year, I was like, this is it. He was 38, 39. He's done. And, you want to see your players go out on top or at least not, shell them their former selves. You don't want Ben to go out there and, hitting 50% of his passes, 3 touchdowns, 15 pickles. I don't think he's going to be that bad. But if he's playing bad, you got to know when to hold him, when to fold him.
Good Super Bowl 10 out of 10. Oh, yes, of course, Mile High. Bronco fan. Of course, it's 10 out of 10.
And the Superman thing, that kind of went off.
Superman, that got off very fast.
Yeah, he really got spanked.
Yeah.
I don't know. Was there an artery, Jared Williams, with the broken leg? Was it close to severing something that would have cost him his life? I don't remember being that bad, but I don't remember it being that bad.
I knew it was bad. I don't know if he could have died. I don't know.
You want to see a nasty sports injury? I don't know why it's popped in my head. I don't know if you've ever seen it or the chat, and it is graphic, by the way. In the early 80s, there's a hockey game where a goalie gets hit with a skate and it hits his carotid artery.
Oh, man.
And you can see that the ice just fills up with his blood. It's gross. And he almost died. When I see worse sports injuries, they have like Theismann's leg break at number one.
When did that happen with the skate hitting his neck?
It was like 1981 or 82. A player just flipped up and whoosh, those skates are sharp and caught his neck. And you can see that the ice just filling up with his blood. And it's like,
was the guy okay?
No, he survived.
He survived.
Survived. I don't know how it's not the worst sports injury ever. The guy could have instantly died right there. I mean, the leg breaks are bad, but that artery in your neck is pretty serious.
Yeah, I've seen that. Alex Smith's injury was extremely bad.
And I think the Alex Smith thing happened on the anniversary of the Joe Theismann injury, and at the same spot on the field. That's the crazy thing. Let me see if I can find out who that is. I'm bringing it up for you all.
Yeah.
We're not going to show it on here for obvious reasons. That's
TSR is the man, guys. So definitely subscribe to him down below. Please do that. He has over 5K subs, which is good. I'm trying to get to 1,000.
Yeah, I will say this. I used to focus on that sub count a little bit, and I'm just like, you know what? You got to focus on having fun, being you.
That's why I do it.
Diversified from sports. I'm like, it's almost 7 million views. Clint Malarchuk is the name of the player. But if you I searched for hockey cutthroat, it's the first thing that comes up
wow.
Just don't watch it.
I'll watch it after this game. I'm just curious. The game started the dab, which got old, Jeremy.
Yeah, I was never dab.
I
don't know if the Falcons go 8-8.
I think Falcons should go 9-7.
I think the Panthers will be worse than. I don't know if you meant 6-10 or 5-11.
I do think the Panthers finish last.
Yes, Cam Newton's no longer on the team. They still have a stud running back, but Luke Kuechly retired. That defense just lost El Capitan. Kuechly's been one of the best middle linebackers in the NFL the last, I don't know, he's been in the league, 7 or 8 years, and you just pull him out of that defense. And don't forget the Giants signed James Bradberry.
Yeah, great. I love that hire.
James Bradberry was on the Panthers, and he's the guy that lined up against Mike Evans, Michael Thomas, and Julio Jones. Those are 3 of the top 10 wide receivers in the NFL. So you take out their best cover man and their best linebacker and their head coach, Ron Rivera. I mean, I think that team's going to be in disarray next season. I think they're going to go 4-0.
I agree too. And I think we got one of the best cornerbacks, like in the free agency period. I was a big fan of that Bradberry pick. I don't know. What do you think about that Bradberry pick?
I like it. We need a shutdown corner, and I think he's going to be the guy that really we're going to put on number 1 receiver. If Jabril Peppers can get his act together, we'll be solid there. Now, on the other side of the field, we expected DeAndre Baker to be our number 2 cornerback, and everything's still up in the air with him, and I don't really want to go into him too much. But it looked like such a good opportunity for the young man to learn from somebody that's done it in Bradberry and just, have a master apprentice learn from a veteran, and now his whole career is up in the air. So I've said this before on my channel. Hopefully, if he's innocent, and I'm hoping he is, hopefully he's not a knucklehead, hopefully this turns his career around. Stop falling asleep in meetings. Stop missing virtual meetings. You have a chance to play for the New York Giants in the NFL.
Embrace it,
Can you imagine, Alex, if you won a contest and you said, okay, here's what's going to happen. On the last play of the game when the Giants are winning, you're going to be quarterback and you're going to kneel 1 play and that's it. I'd be like, yep, I don't care. Sign me up. I get to play 1 play as quarterback for the NFL, the New York Football Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah. So, did Baker
away? Yeah.
Did the Baker's lawyer say he was innocent?
Yes. His alibi now is that he was playing Madden.
Yeah, now that's just fishy. I don't know. Well, the story is just taking every wrong turn. It's just going. It's a weird story.
It's. A lot of people on my channel are saying that The witnesses are getting paid off. The whole thing is just a mess right now, and I don't know what's right or what's wrong. It's not my place to judge. I just go by the facts right now, and if the facts end up saying he's guilty, I accept it. If they say that he's innocent, that's great too. But I'm not going to,
I hope he's innocent. If we drafted him last pick, I believe we traded up for him. Yeah,
we traded 3 picks and moved up to 30th, and there was I forgot the kid's name, but there was a center that was drafted shortly after we took him that is a top 5 center in the NFL. Which we could have used.
I was bashing Dave Gettleman when after this news happens about Baker, like, oh man, we traded up this guy. I mean, and now I realize that you can't blame the GM because who would have thought?
I mean, apparently there were some character concerns with Baker, but not to this level. And in the end, Dave Gettleman is not DeAndre Baker's dad or his wife, or he's not in a position where he can say, "Hey, you shouldn't do this." He's the GM, and of course, the Giants have guidelines: conduct yourself as a professional, don't do stupid crap. But in the end, an adult is going to do what they want, and if he made a bad choice, then he did, and the team will move on from him. I mean, Love or Beal will play cornerback if he's not there, and we'll just have to make do with what we have. And like the Eagles did earlier, what you said, next man up.
Yep, next man up mentality. So how all right, all right. Kuechly is the first ballot Hall of Famer. Kuechly. Yeah.
Probably.
I think he's
a first ballot Hall of Famer. Eli Manning.
I would love him to be in first ballot, but there's going to be people that would not be happy with that. Don't agree with that. I think he should, but of course, based off what happened in the last several years, it could be hard. Maybe second ballot. Hope, I don't know.
I'm with you there. I'm a huge Eli supporter. Yes, he's got the 2 Super Bowl MVPs, but analysis, writers, experts, etc., are going to look at the 500 win percentage over his career, and they're going to look at a lot of turnovers.
Yeah.
And Eli generally, he was never, I think, a top 3 regular season quarterback. Granted, he played
maybe in the 2011 season, like he was elite back then. Probably should have won the MVP. He carried us to the playoffs, the Super Bowl.
He did. He'll never get enough credit for that season, and he played with a lot of
pride,
a lot of doo-doo at the end of his career offensively. Like, come on, we were drafting Eric Flowers, which was a bad pick. Eli Apple, to this day, I don't understand what Reese was thinking with Eli Apple. That was just.
I mean, Jerry Reese screwed up the team, and that's why we're in this pickle we're in now.
He will be NY Mets, NY Jets, Giants. Sorry, just first ballot. Depending who else is in his class, he might not get voted in. He's obviously a first ballot, and in Giants' hearts as a quarterback and a player. But they're going to really look at the negatives in his career. He did lead the NFL in interceptions 3 times, and then you got Joe Theismann who's in there who has more pickles than touchdowns, and Terry. I mean, a lot of these. Well, Bradshaw played in a different era, and so did Theismann. But Troy Aikman. Sorry, Cowboys fans. Troy Aikman statistically is not a great quarterback.
No, he's not. He's overrated.
I think he's overrated, but he's got 3 rings.
Michael Irvin. Who was the running back?
Emmett Smith.
Yeah.
Who's Emmett Smith? The leading rusher of all time, a Hall of Fame wide receiver. Jay Novacek was an All-Pro tight end.
Hall of Fame cornerback.
The Hall of Fame quarterback. Daryl Johnston was a Pro Bowl fullback. They have a Hall of Famer, I think, and Larry Allen on their offensive line. They had one of the greatest offensive lines of all time, and certainly the best in the 90s. How could you not succeed with that team?
Yeah, and they had Deion Sanders.
They had primetime for a little while too. Yeah, they had a stud. Primetime. They were stacked. So I mean, no disrespect to Troy Aikman. I like him as an analysis. Some don't, but
he's okay in my opinion.
He's not a Hall of Fame quarterback without the 3 rings, but he's got the rings, so it is what it is.
Yeah, it's pouring in the South Bronx right now.
It was raining here too in Connecticut.
It's just another one of those days. Not much sunlight. Yeah.
It's been beautiful all week. I've been outside riding my bike or shooting hoop every day.
Yeah, me too. I've been going outside to find shooting hoops as well.
Oh, all right. Well, man, can you dunk?
Me?
Yeah, you. Yeah.
No, I can't.
I don't know how tall you are, so
I'm not tall enough to dunk.
okay.
Mm.
Hey, I didn't dunk till I was 37, Alex. Never say never.
How tall are you now? How tall are you now?
I am 6'4", so that does help.
Yeah, I'm 5'4" right now, so I'm not very tall.
Oh, okay. Then you would need like Spud Webb jumping ability to dunk.
Yeah, I'll need a ladder or something.
3 rings got that's exactly 3 rings got him in the Hall of Fame. But you know what? He's in there. It's hard to argue, and that's going to be how Eli gets in. Without the 2 rings, Eli is not in the Hall of Fame. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
No rings, no Super Bowl MVPs. He's not a Hall of Famer. But those 2 do get him in. Whether it's first or second ballot, that's going to be depend on who goes in with him. But I don't think anybody big is retired this year yet. I think he's the biggest name.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Well, Alex, my man, I said I would go for about an hour or so. I'm right at that mark to get going and got a lot of stuff to do tonight. But I want to thank you for finally having me on the channel. To everybody that came in the chat, if you haven't hit the thumbs up yet, please do so.
Bob, to TSR, I really appreciate you coming on, man. Yeah, this is great. Thanks for taking time out of your day to do this. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you, TSR. Thank you, everybody watching. Hit the like on the way up. Definitely subscribe to the Sports Reaction. The link is in the description. Thank you guys for watching. I want me to read this one last thing before I end it. Winning rings despite average stats definitely helps a player. Yes, it does. It's not in the NFL. It's really not that hard to get a Hall of Fame. As long as you win like at least 1 Super Bowl, and you have a chance. All right. Yes. Good stream. Thank you, Maha, for watching. Definitely. Thank you all. Thank you, Daniel Barry, Patriots fan, and NY Mets. Eli without the rings gets in a 3rd bout. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna end the stream. Thank you guys for watching. And we'll see you next time. Peace.